World War II wasn't won by tanks alone. It was won by trucks. From frontline supply runs to moving entire armies. These are the 8 U.S. Army trucks that kept the war moving. Modern war runs on logistics. Guns are useless without ammunition. Tanks stop without fuel. Armies collapse without food, spare parts, and reinforcements. During World War II, the United States mastered logistics on a scale the world had never seen. Behind every famous battle was a vast fleet of trucks, working day and night, in every climate, on every front. These vehicles were not glamorous, but they decided campaigns before the shooting even started. This is the story of the top 8 U.S. Army trucks of World War II, ranked not by fame alone, but by impact. 8. Willys MB/Ford GPW, the Jeep. The Jeep is the most iconic military vehicle ever built. Small, lightweight, and incredibly versatile, it served as reconnaissance vehicle, command car, ambulance, weapons platform, and courier transport. If a soldier needed to get somewhere fast, the Jeep was the answer. Powered by a simple 4-cylinder engine and equipped with 4-wheel drive, the Jeep could traverse mud, sand, snow, and rubble that stopped larger vehicles. General Eisenhower later described it as one of the tools that won the war. While not a logistics truck in the traditional sense, the Jeep's sheer versatility earned it a permanent place in military history, and at number 8 on this list. Number 7. Dodge WC Series, 3/4-ton Beep. If the Jeep was too small, the Dodge WC was the solution. The Dodge WC Series included dozens of variants: cargo trucks, weapons carriers, ambulances, radio trucks, and command vehicles. They could carry heavier loads and more personnel while still retaining off-road capability. These trucks were rugged, reliable, and easy to repair in the field. Infantry units relied on them to move mortars, machine guns, and ammunition directly to the front lines. The Dodge WC became the backbone of light tactical transport, bridging the gap between the Jeep and larger cargo trucks. Number 6. Chevrolet G506, 1.5-ton truck. Often overshadowed by larger trucks, the Chevrolet G506 was one of the quiet heroes of the war. This 1.5-ton truck served everywhere: Europe, North Africa, the Pacific, and even the Soviet Union through Lend-Lease. It hauled troops, towed artillery, transported supplies, and supported engineering units. Its relatively compact size made it ideal for narrow roads and rough terrain where larger trucks struggled. Reliable and adaptable, the G506 proved that not every logistical problem required a massive vehicle. Without trucks like the G506, supply lines would have broken down long before reaching the front. 5. GMC CCKW 352/353, deuce and a half. This is the truck most people think of when they imagine World War II logistics. The GMC CCKW, better known as the deuce and a half, was the backbone of the Allied supply system. Over 500,000 were built, serving in every theater of the war. With a 2.5-ton payload, 6-wheel drive, and exceptional durability, it could haul fuel, ammunition, food, medical supplies, and troops over long distances. The CCKW was the lifeline of the Red Ball Express, the nonstop supply operation that kept Allied forces moving after the Normandy landings. If World War II had a single logistical symbol, this was it. 4. Diamond T969/980 tank transporter. Tanks are powerful, but they are not designed for long road marches. That problem was solved by the Diamond T tank transporter. These massive trucks hauled tank transport trailers capable of carrying the heaviest American armor. By transporting tanks instead of driving them, the Diamond T saved fuel, reduced mechanical wear, and allowed armored units to arrive at the battlefield ready to fight. Recovery and redeployment of damaged tanks would have been impossible without it. The Diamond T didn't fight, but it ensured tanks could. 3. Mackinac 7.5-ton truck. When artillery got bigger, trucks had to get stronger. The Mackinac was designed to haul the heaviest field artillery and anti-aircraft guns in the U.S. arsenal. With its massive 6-wheel drive chassis and powerful engine, it could move loads that would defeat ordinary trucks. It wasn't fast. It wasn't pretty, but it was unstoppable. In mud, snow, and rough terrain, the Mackinac delivered heavy guns where they were needed most, ensuring firepower was always close at hand. 2. Studebaker US-6. This truck rarely gets credit in Western histories, but it was crucial to victory. The Studebaker US-6 was one of the most important Lend-Lease vehicles sent to the Soviet Union. Tens of thousands were shipped east, where they became the backbone of Red Army logistics. Reliable, easy to maintain, and capable of operating in extreme cold, the US-6 proved perfectly suited to the Eastern Front. Soviet forces used it to move troops, tow artillery, and supply advancing armies. Many historians argue that without American trucks like the Studebaker, Soviet offensives would have been far slower. This truck helped decide the war far from American soil. 1. DUKW, DUK, amphibious truck. At number 1 is the most unique truck of World War II. The DUKW was a fully amphibious vehicle, a standard 2.5-ton truck enclosed in a boat-shaped hull. It could drive off a transport ship, swim to shore, and continue inland without stopping. This eliminated the dangerous bottleneck of unloading supplies on beaches. The DUKW was vital during amphibious operations such as Normandy, Sicily, and island landings across the Pacific. It delivered food, ammunition, and medical supplies directly to advancing troops. It wasn't fast, it wasn't armored, but it solved one of the hardest logistical problems in warfare. That makes the DUKW the most important U.S. Army truck of World War II. Why trucks won the war? Tanks broke enemy lines. Aircraft dominated the skies. Artillery shattered defenses. But trucks made all of it possible. They connected factories to front lines, ports to battlefields, victory to reality. American industry did not just build weapons, it built systems. And trucks were the arteries of that system. Without them, armies stopped. With them, armies advanced. World War II wasn't decided by one famous tank or one legendary general. It was decided by movement, by supply, by trucks that never stopped running. From muddy roads in Europe to jungle trails in the Pacific, these 8 trucks carried the weight of victory. And while they rarely appear in headlines, they remain some of the most important vehicles ever built.